Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our morning devotion on our social media fast. I trust that you are all doing well with putting down your phones and devices and spending more time with the Lord. This morning, our devotion is entitled, Get Your Phone Off His Throne. And so we're going to just dive right in this morning. We all have two commodities that we can spend however we choose, time and money. Now with money, I've always heard that you can tell what your focus is on if you look at your, they used to say checkbook, but now it's your bank app. So if you look at your bank app and you see what you're spending your money on, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So you can see a reflection of the things that you love and prioritize when you look at your bank account. So unlike money, we all have the same amount of time to spend. And so how do we manage our time? How do we look at our time and see who is on the throne of our heart? Well, one good way to do that is to pick up your phone, your smartphone, and this is how I do it. This may not be how you do it, but if you go to your settings and you scroll down a little bit and find your battery life, you can click on that, and it will give you a little snapshot into how you are spending your screen time. Now, clearly, we are pre-recording this morning, and so we haven't started our social media fast, but I'm gonna be the first one to scroll down here and see what is at the very top of my cell phone usage. And guess what? It is not my Bible app. So my goal at the end of this social media fast, and it is something to do with social media, but my goal at the end of this social media fast is for my Bible app to be the top app used on my phone. So that's one way that you can gauge how you spend your time and who is on the throne of your heart. Jonah 2:8 says, "Those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them." So what does it mean to cling to? What are those things that we turn to? Consider what you turn to the most. What do you do first thing in the morning? What do you do when you're stressed? What do you do when you're bored? What do you do when you're laying in bed at night, getting ready to go to sleep? You see, idolatry isn't just worshiping statues like we think. We don't think that idolatry is something that we do in modern times. But just because we don't bow down and worship a gold statue or a wooden statue doesn't mean that we don't have idols on the throne of our heart. You see, idolatry is an age-old problem and it still plagues us. We must consider what besides God is sitting on the throne of our lives. We may not be a culture that worships idols carved out of wood, but many of us have made idols out of our digital devices. So in our scripture today, it calls them worthless idols. And a lot of times, the idols that we put in front of God have worth in our lives. They have value. They're things that we need, whether it's money, whether it's food, whether it's our cell phones. We need these to do our work sometimes, or to communicate with other people. So it's not that this in and of itself is a bad thing, but it is worthless when I think about my God. It is worthless when I think, what can this do for me? And what can God do for me? You see, this can't bring salvation. This can't bring healing. This can't bring deliverance. This can't do much for me except waste my time most of the time. But God can do all of that and so much more. So what do you turn to first? And what do you turn to most? The thing you face the most is the thing that will eventually rule your life. So what is it? Name it. Put a name on that thing that you do first thing in the morning and last thing at night. When you're stressed, when you're bored, when you don't know what else to do. What is the first thing that you pick up? Name that thing. And if that isn't God, then kick that thing off the throne of your heart because it's an idol. If the thought of laying something down, anything, for laying it down for 40 days causes you stress, then you've likely found a false god vying for the throne of your heart. So it's time to dethrone those things. Whether it's your phone, maybe you don't have a problem with that, maybe it's something else, but you know what it is, and God knows what it is. So it's time to put God back where He belongs, on the throne of our heart. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.